Oh, good heavens. Hello. And good time zone. And what is up, gamers? Hello, friends, and welcome. It's lovely to see y'all. Welcome. Oh my god, my moderator/spouse has just come home and I've just started stream. I'm gonna go quickly say hi to him and I'll be back to say hi to y'all in just a second. Hi, sunshine. Welcome home.
Thank you.
I missed you.
I missed you. No stream.
Was your day okay? Welcome home. Kettle's just boiled. I think there should be enough for a cup of tea if you want one. Love you. Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. I'm back. And hello to Karen. Thank you very much for the lurk. And Turnip, thank you for the lurk as well. And indeed, we are doing hamster art today. I hope you're excited to see hamster. Dan, hello, welcome in, and thank you for the happy Streamversary! It's indeed my Streamversary week. Technically, my Streamversary is on Wednesday, but I don't stream Wednesdays. So we're gonna do some silly fun gubbins. We're going to do some silly fun gubbins today. We're going to do silly fun extra special gubbins on Thursday and Friday this week to celebrate. Hey, sunshine, what's up?
We're going to celebrate by going shopping.
On Wednesday, we're going to celebrate by going shopping, says my moderator/spouse, and he's not wrong. That's the day that we go to the grocery store in the afternoon instead of doing, like, Ortworks or Cozy Games. But anyways, hello. Happy anniversary week, says Sen. Welcome in, Sen. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. What's that?
3, so.
Oh, hell yeah. Good stuff. Okay. Sorry. There's a note from my moderator/spouse who has indeed just gotten in the door. So, it's just catching me up. Anyways, hope you are all well. It's very lovely to see y'all, and I hope that you are having good Mondays. I hope you had good weekends. I have, for your hopeful enjoyment, a pair of hamsters who are in love. And, the prompt for this was comfy chair, so this one is sitting in a comfy chair, and her very, very close friend, who she lived with for pretty much her whole life, and neither of them ever married, and they were very good friends, say historians, is bringing her a little cuppy of hot chocolate, as you do. Is my moderator/spouse saying something, babe?
Yeah, I said, and they were only ever good friends.
And they were only ever good friends, apparently. What do you mean they are roommates, says Sen? Well, oh my god, they were roommates. Said it's a bit cold, otherwise fine. Oh my goodness, I hope that you were able to avail yourself of a nice, cozy cardigan or something. Ooh, Sen's done some sewing of some neck pillows that her mom wanted for Christmas. Very nice. That sounds really lovely. That's very lovely of you. Found out after Christmas she wouldn't mind having some. Hey, you know what? That works perfectly. Turner says, unlurking to say, oh, what wonderful best friends. Best friends. Hee I love them. Aw, thank you. I'm very excited to get to paint these two again. I think they're really, really sweet. And I was looking on the interwebs, trying very hard to Google search things that were actual real pictures of actual, like, antique 19th century chairs that existed to find something that would be appropriate for these two. Looking up just, like, Victorian chair brought up a lot of results of things that are clearly from, like, very stately homes. And, you know, there were people in the past who didn't have that much money. I think these two have, like, a comfortable life, but they have just, like, a small house with, you know, like, a couple of rooms, and, you know, they don't necessarily have domestic staff working for them or anything. They're just having a nice, comfy, cozy time. But finding resources on, like, somewhat more normal people furniture was surprisingly hard. In and among all of the slop that's clogging up image search now, which is one of my pet peeves within the last, like, year or two, is that it's so much harder to Google image search stuff. I mean, if you do the trick of just minus AI after any search term, it really helps, but good lord. Oh, Dan, no! We love moderator/spouse and his incredibly handsome voice.
Well, am I being slagged off now?
He said to pipe down, Sammy's streaming. And I said, no, you can talk to me as much as you want, babe. I love you.
You are working, so.
I know, but I love you anyway. Yay! Anywho. But yeah, so I haven't really 100% figured out what I wanted to do with the background of this piece. I was going to put a bookshelf back here, but, you know, I don't think I have time. to do another gosh diddly dang bookshelf. So I am erasing that line. And I'm just noticing, because I did sketch this by and large in a room with no lights on, that I can see the lines from when I made the floor. I made the floor too close to the like bottom of the piece, such that it would have implied that this hamster is floating. And that's just me not having a very firm grasp on perspective. But we got there. It's fine. It took a little figuring, but I think it's fine. Anywho, I think instead of having a bookshelf back there, I might just have like a framed picture on this bit of the wall maybe, and there's just not really anything in this corner behind the chair. I feel like that makes slightly more sense, but I also like the idea that they have some framed art on the wall, and I really love putting art inside my art. I find it very, very fun. But as has been alluded to, in case anyone was not aware, this week is indeed my streamiversary week. I have been streaming as of Wednesday for 4 years, which is wild and super nice. And I'm not going to reflect on my achievements, otherwise I'll probably just feel bad that I haven't achieved more, even though the fact that I'm still doing it is an achievement in and of itself. The fact that people are still watching me stream is an achievement in and of itself, and I should feel very proud of the fact that I've stuck with it for so long. But if I ruminate too hard, I'll just feel regrets that there's a bunch of stuff that I haven't done and feel like I should be doing more, which I physically cannot do more than the amount of stuff that I do in my life. People who can do more, and I've learned this, people who are able to achieve all of these great, usually have like a team of people behind them doing all of the mundane stuff. I don't have anyone to do all the mundane stuff. I spend most of my day doing mundane stuff. The other cool things that I'm trying to achieve is like in my free time, which I should be spending, like, I don't know, taking more naps because I'm really tired. But so, you know, all things considered, yeah, damn it, it is an achievement that I'm still streaming. Anyways, hi. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Hope y'all had a good weekend. I genuinely cannot remember what I did last weekend. Even though it was just a couple of days ago. It's, pretty much entirely fled my mind. Is that normal? I don't know. But it's true. I've contemplated dropping a little window frame in here. I'm not sure if that is working. But what the hey, how about I do it anyways? We can't really see much of it anyway, but, and there's a little, maybe there's a little curtain. No, that's not working. That's just gonna be wall, because I can't get the window to look right. And that's okay. So, I'm done with this. I'm done with this sketch for now, I guess. I don't know what painting is gonna go over here, but I should probably introduce these two little creatures for anyone who isn't familiar with the hamster lore. I did look up a lot of just sort of like casual outfits for ladies of the sort of mid to late 19th century. She's wearing a little, what was called a wrapper, which was kind of a casual dress that you would wear at home. It's a very comfy, cozy garment, which we don't necessarily think of, like, you know, 19th century clothes being comfy, cozy, but this was comfy, cozy by virtue of the fact that the dress itself didn't have a fitted waist. You basically it was just sort of like loose, and then you just tied a belt around the middle of it to give it a waistline. So it wasn't like fitted and kind of cinched in that way. So it was very lounge around the houseable, or like, you know, potentially doing houseworkable without feeling too constricted by very fitted garments. And this one I wanted to put in some of the cute sort of like, you know, early bifurcated garments of the period. So she's got a little sort of This would have been more of an outdoorsy look, I feel like, at the time, but I really wanted to put one of them in little trousers, because I think they're really, really cute, and especially just the little hamster feet sticking out of the little puffy trousers, is very fun to me. But, let me see if I can find, the original, because there is lore for these two, because I have drawn them before, and if you haven't seen, I shall try and find it. Oh, where are they? They would have been around summertime, so let me just scroll back through my feed until they turn up. Ah, here they are. Hell yeah. Hopefully this will work. Is it working? No, it isn't working. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Oh no. Is it broken? Oh, for heaven's sakes. I have absolutely no idea why it isn't working. Oh no. Oh no. It should be just recognizing this this window and being like, aha. I'm going to open that, but it does not want to. Let me see if I pop back onto it now. Anything? No. Ah, beans, that's just broken. Okay, well, shoot. I don't know how to fix that then. Yay. Cause yeah, it's just supposed to capture the window that is my Instagram feed. And it's not doing that. Oh, now it's doing. I just have to reload the page. Well, that's just rude. Okay. Anyways, I am still posting on Instagram, but I'm really not using Instagram very much these days. In part because it's various reasons, but also I'm finding it a very frustrating experience. Like, the ads that I keep getting fed on it are really increasingly disturbing, and I decided that I didn't want to have to look at that, so I literally just, oh, hello, it's a watch streak, never mind. Turnip, thank you so much for the 20 streams. Steak, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed your 20 streams, and I hope you enjoy your 20 steaks. Ooh, Unlurking say happy stream anniversary with steaks. I hope you enjoy your delicious, delicious steaks. These are the little creatures that we are painting again today. They love each other very much. They like going on little adventures, riding bicycles and stuff. Because, I don't know, I like this era of sort of little ladies going on adventures. I think it cute. So here they are. They are in love, and they like doing little adventurous things together. So hopefully I can capture a nice quiet moment for them at home as well. Yeah. That's it. I don't know why I had the idea in the first place of doing, like, hamster cyclists who are also from the Victorian period, but here we are. Anyways, I just noticed there was a bit of chair that kind of got erased out, so I'm just going to add that back in, and a bit of just messy gubbins here that I should probably get rid of. Okay, we have the bones of a painting, so I'm going to start painting it. For the most part, I'm going to be using these paints today, I think, again, just because I'm doing all of these pieces this month based on the Stream Inc. Cozy January prompt list, and I just like a little bit of sort of coherence when I'm doing sort of a prompt set of, like, using the same paints for all of them. I think that's neat. I think it's nice. So that's what I wanted to do, but I will be using different paints specifically for the hamster's fur, just because there really isn't a good color in among all of those that works for them. So
choppers.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Hello, Sammy Ann. Welcome in. Hello. Welcome in, Raiders. Hi, everyone. Welcome. How are you doing? How is your stream, Sammy Ann? It is lovely to see you and your wonderful people. Let me get a shout out for you in the chat. Hopefully it works the first time. I'd love that for us. Anyways, hello everyone, welcome in. How was your stream, Sammy? And it's lovely to see you as always. How did the dragons turn out? I was doing a little lurk earlier and I saw some very, very cute art with a certain lovely friend and some lovely looking dragons. But feel free to let us know how it went, what you were up to, all that jazz. In the meantime, I'll introduce myself for anyone who's just come in on the raid. My name is Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do Cozy Out streams on Mondays and Thursdays. I do Cozy Game streams on Friday mornings. And today we are drawing for the comfy chair prompt of StreamInk's January prompt list. We are drawing some gay hamsters in their little Victorian cottage, as you do. Yeah, I'm normal. Anyways, we were working on some avatar / self-portrait. Yes, some lovely dragons working. Hell yeah, I love it. It was very, very, very lovely. And some feature art from you. I shared my mail art delivery. Oh my goodness, I missed the mail art delivery. Oh, Beans, I'm just really happy that they turned up and that they arrived safe and sound, and I very much hope you enjoy them. Also, I have to apologize for my voice. I was sick for many weeks, and it's still quite gravelly compared to usual. At least it is in my own head. So I'm just having a little sip of my tea. But oh yay! Thank you. Very, very, very sweet, very kind. And thank you again for the raid as well. If there's anything you would like to share, feel free to let me know. You can whisper me a link to something you were working on, or if you want us to go have a little look-see on your socials, I would love to do that as well. Just let me know. Or not, if you don't feel like it. It is an art tax optional stream, of course. Notice you just sound a bit tired, not super gravelly. Oh, good. I think I was much more gravelly last week than I am now, but I'm definitely also a little bit tired. Yeah, welcome in everybody. Let me get another shout out for Sammy Ann in the chat. If you're not following Sammy Ann, you should go do that. If you like whimsy and dragons and other cool stuff, you should go do that. Go get on that. It's a good time. Anyways, this is what we're working on today. And I was just asking how everyone's weekend was, what they were getting up to, and all that jazz. Trying to remember what I did on the weekend, and the answer is a resounding I don't know, because it's a blur. I think, to be honest, I kind of just didn't do a lot this weekend. I think I rested, I guess. What did I do? Why is that such a hard question to answer? Oh, well, I worked on the sketch for this. I worked on a sketch for something else that's part of a project that I'm contributing to. And I went grocery shopping. I got takeaway on Saturday night. That was really nice. My moderator / spouse had an excellent idea to do that, and I was very grateful. I tried a gluten-free garlic bread from the supermarket, and it was just okay. Did I do anything else interesting? I did a little bit of sewing. I'm plugging away slowly at a project at the moment that I'm hand sewing, but I sewed up. I had done all the measurements for the sleeve holes and stuff, and it seemed to be the right measurement for the sleeve holes and stuff. But then when I actually tried it on, once I'd set the sleeve into the sleeve hole, it fit really, really weird, and I figured out that the best way probably to combat this was just to make the sleeve hole a little bit wider, which was slightly annoying, but at least it was a fairly easy fix. I hadn't done too much, and it's fairly quick to make that change and just let it out a little bit. But oh my gosh, sleeves, Sen, I hate setting them. Just yeah, Sen, I know arm size is the word, but not everybody does. I'm trying to be accessible here. Anyways, believe it or not, good old Bernadette, I'm sure has taught many people how to make a shirt. Sewing can be fun and frustrating, says Sammy. And yeah, thankfully mostly friend, but sleeves are complicated. Sleeves are very... Even when your sleeve, in this case, is just nominally just like rectangles, because this shirt is nominally just rectangles, but it does involve A, gathering, and B, kind of fitting in an unusual way, like to contemporary sleeves. And so, is she the Hulk's mom? Not that I'm aware of, but I mean, anything's possible, right? But, Armside does sound sharp and dangerous, it's true. Which honestly does feel kind of appropriate, because my god, they're annoying. Anyways, this one's annoying because I'm having to do it twice. But I guess that's you know, even when you're doing a garment that is not particularly fitted, because this is a quite loose fitting top, you can still end up with teething troubles like this. You know, it's like, okay, take the measurements, measure, you know, sort of like, what's the circumference of my upper arm, and then add this amount to it for ease, according to, you know, like, instructions that I've read. And then I did that, and it fit really weird. And like, no, damn it. So hopefully letting it out a bit will help with that. Yeah, this is hopefully something that will give me kind of a blueprint for other later tops that I want to make. So it's okay if this one has teething troubles. If I figure things out on this garment, I know what to do differently next time to make it work for me. And I'm already figuring stuff out that I'm like, okay, I maybe want to make a change to that and adjust my Excel spreadsheet onto which I have all of my pattern pieces mapped. Because one of the great things about a lot of historical garments of certain eras is that you end up with a garment that it's like, shirt is basically just rectangles. That gown, basically just rectangles. I love that. It's so efficient. There's so little waste when garment is just rectangles. It's when you get into eras where you have to get at all of your French curves and make mock-ups and stuff. And I'm like, I hate making mock-ups. It just, unless you can, you know, get the, for anyone who doesn't know, a mock-up is basically you make the garment once, figure out which bits you need to sort of adjust and tailor to fit the wearer. And then you make it again out of the regular fabric. The only time that I'm cool with making mock-ups is if you're making the mock-up out of fabric that you're going to use to line the final garment. Otherwise, you've just used a whole bunch of fabric that has no other use. And I don't care if it's practical. It feels wasteful, damn it. I don't like that, you know? Fabric is money, okay? And I do not buy inexpensive fabrics unless it's bed sheets that are really cute and have a really cute citrus fruit pattern on them that I bought on sale from TK Maxx. But apart from that, it really bothers me to make a mock-up of a garment that I'm not just going to use to line the garment. Because otherwise it's just like, well, that's just fabric that I wasted that I could have used to make something that I would actually use for means other than just basically making pattern pieces out of fabric. Like, miss me on that. Anyways. Anyways, that's my gripe. I'm gonna catch up with chat. Said, senses the gathering is like helping so much. I didn't do that in the beginning. I was always wondering why my sleeves were always too big for the holes. Turns out it is by design. You have to gather them. Yes. With modern garments, so you have enough movement for your arm. Yes. Gathering is fun. Gathering also can give you some nice visual effects, like, you know, the puffy sleeve. You should see the sleeve cuffs on this. They're going to be beautiful because there is so much puff. They're so puffy. It makes me really happy. Anyway. But yes, it does feel wasteful, says Sen. Yeah, I agree. I get some super cheap cotton fabric from IKEA for mock-ups. Yeah, that's fair. Usually reuse the fabric in some ways if it's not possible to use it as lining or basting layers. I mean, at least it's being used. Can I distract you with some work in progress, says Sammy Ann. Oh, please do. I would love to see it. Let me head on over in the direction of Sammy Ann's linkage so we can have a look. at what she has been up to. There we go. Let me just hopefully successfully copy paste this, I hope. If I can manage it, that would be rad as heck. But it's just loading, sorry. Anywho, tea, paintings, and dragons. I love the sound of both of these. So let's have a little... Oh, this turned out so cute! And it's so relatable, and I love it. Y'all, please, please, please display. Look, isn't that adorable? Oh, you are living your best life here, and I love that for you. That's really, really cute. So you can get your deep breath. I create wasting fabrics. I do like having a mock-up for the first one. I mean, if it's something that you're going to replicate quite a lot and you can basically use them as pattern pieces, I see the appeal. But if it's something that I'm making once, I'm like, this has to be the lining of the garment. Otherwise, why am I doing this? This is the tea painting. Did you use tea or is it just drinking tea? Because I know you have painted with tea as well. Regardless, is very cute and I love it, and it's such a cozy mood. I love the little art supply cup. The little art supply cup is so stinking cute, and the little outfit. Oh, I love everything about this. It's very, very cute. And there's also dragon painting here, which it is looking so cute. You two are absolutely precious. I love them so much. Look at I love like the colors that you've used to get like the scaly sort of, it feels like it's a little shimmery, the scales, and I really, really like that as well. And just your expression is just so happy, and it just warms the deepest depths of my cold, cold heart to see it painted with tea and a little bit of coffee. That is so cool. That is so cool. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And once again, if you're not following Sammy Ann, go do that. Go do that. There's some shout outs further up the chat, or you can just click on her name and go click follow. And you should do that because Sammy Ann is great. Okay, I have caught my breath. I'm going to have a sip of sports drink because I am not feeling hydrated enough. And I think that might help. Anyways. I can fast chat. I don't 100% know what we're going to do on Thursday to celebrate 4 years of doing this nonsense. But I'm going to try and dream up something fun. I don't know if it's going to be cozy art or cozy game, but it will be something cozy. I'm excited to see these lovely hamsters, says Sammy. Oh, thank you so much. I am wondering what I want to do first. I think the first thing I'm going to want to do probably is just get sort of a wash of color onto the wallpaper in the back, and I'm wondering if I should masking fluid off the bits in front just in case. I think I might. 4 years, asks Vivian. Yeah, 4 years. Can you believe, to learn? And I mean, my setup is still this janky and bad. I don't know how to run it for... oh my god, I just realized. Y'all! I just realized something horrible. Something very important isn't running right now. Why is it not running? Oh no. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Continue holding up. Where? Hello? Hello? There I am. That's better. I was missing. Oh my goodness, for like the first 30 minutes of stream, no less. How embarrassing. I didn't have a VTuber for so long that I didn't clock that anything was out of the ordinary not having a VTuber in the corner. But you can see me on stream now. What triggered my memory of this was saying that, oh, you know, like my setup is so unprofessional, when in actual fact I've made strides recently to try and make it a little more profesh. For instance, there is a little me that appears on screen now. You have arrived, says Savian. I'm here. Hello. Did you miss me? I hope not. Anywho. Sorry about that, everyone. I hope no one left in disgust when there was no visible streamer on screen. Besides, obviously, my hands, which you can always see. Um, my actual real life space self, you can't, because I'm wearing pajamas and I haven't done anything interesting with my hair. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever be one of those streamers who feels comfortable sort of being on face cam the whole time, just because I'm too self-conscious. And I also don't necessarily have the spoons to make myself look super fashionable IRL. Whilst inside my house. So I used to have a face cam, but I will make myself an owl PNG tuber when I restart. Oh hell yeah, you should do it. But also I just love being I just love honestly getting to be a little illustrated creature here. I think it's quite fun. So, you know, I'm rather happy with that. In fact. Okay, I think that should do it with the bits that I desperately want to mask out. I'm not masking out sort of where the wall meets the floor, because that's pretty simple. But the rest of it. Oh, I did miss the lovely embroidered belt of your avatar, says Samian. Just, in case anyone doesn't know, this is based on the actual... So I made this PNG tuber on Halloween specifically, and premiered it on Halloween. And on Halloween Day, this is in fact the outfit that I was wearing. So, obviously I was dressed as a sexy pirate. Because I found this, like, crop top wraparound linen shirt with, like, 18th century style puffy sleeves from like, Zara, and I was like, oh no. I have to, this is too much of a pirate shirt, but also, it's a crop top, so you can see a bit of my tum-tum, and it's a wraparound shirt, like, that screams sexy pirate costume to me. But not in, like, the, you know, sort of spirit Halloween way of, you know, it's made out of tissue thin polyester and will fall apart after one wear, but, like, it's made out of 100% linen, which is period accurate to the golden age of pirates. So, you know, I had to do it. Anyways, Sammy says, I don't mind the face cam, but I would rather my favorite streamers be comfortable with what works for them. Hell yeah. And I like your face cam, Sammy Ann, because I get to see your face, and it's a nice face, and it's the face of a friend, and I like that. You have a good face. Anyways, that was a rambling statement to say. I like when streamers have face cams, and I also like when streamers don't have face cams. I enjoy the full breadth of streamery do's. Anyways. Okay. I have decided, in all of my wisdom, that I want to make the walls, I want to make the wallpaper of this, this little cottage violet. I'm going to do sort of like a nice lighter violet, and I might do sort of like a patterned wallpaper with little violets dotted throughout. I haven't decided that yet, but I'll have a look and see whether or not, how I feel about that, and also how much time I feel like I have to dedicate to doing it at that point. So this is the violetist paint that I have, which is this one, which is quite a lot of violet. So hopefully we'll get a nice violet looking result from it. And I think that'll be nice. Sammy says thank you. I mean, thank you. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. That statement brought to you by, number 1, someone who needs to practice accepting compliments. Accept the compliments! You're a good artist and a lovely friend, and I like you. Someone who's often confused by compliments. That is such a mood, honestly. Massive, massive mood. They are slightly brain-breaking to me sometimes. And yeah, anyways. I'm much better at dishing them out when they feel warranted than I am at receiving them. Anywho, I'm gonna mute for just a second, so if you'll bear with for a moment, BRB. Ugh. Sorry, I'm a little congested, and I did not want you to hear me blowing my nose. So that's all that was. Okay, let's get this brush nice and nice and damp. I don't necessarily want the paper to be like sopping wet here, but I think if it's a little bit dampened, that's probably good. I just want to check something because the corner of the wall is here, and I just want to make sure that it's level all the way across. And I think maybe it falls slightly out of sync at some point. So I've just readjusted it so it's their floor isn't too sloping, though, to be honest, you know, like it's an older cottage, so it might be. Hey Sunshine, what's up? Oh, please eat the hummus. Yeah. I had some smørrebrød earlier with it. So the rest is for you, babe. Yay! We have some hummus. I don't know if this is specific to the UK. I don't remember this being the case when I lived back in Canada. And in fact, I had a bit of like label shock with it when I first moved here. Is that when I will buy like a pot of hummus, which I don't do super often anymore. Partly because the pot is too... Sammy Ann says hi, sweetie. I think he said hello, but he's all the way in the kitchen, so I'm not sure. Anyways, but I'm sure he did say hi. Anywho, yes, the humus, as Mary Berry would say. There is a fun episode where Mary Berry makes hummus in one of her cooking programs, and she's like, and today I'm going to be making a lovely hummus for lunch, and I just thought it was so stinking hummus. Oh girl. Dan also says hello, sweetheart. Hello again. He says hello again. Dan also says sorry for telling you to pipe down. Dan says sorry for telling you to pipe down earlier. He said quite right. She is humoring the humus. Sammy, yes, absolutely. Mary Berry is a delight. I hope she's having a nice day. Remember who wields the ban hammer. Sledge says, remember who wields the ban hammer. Anywho. Right, what was I saying? Oh yes, Mary Berry's humus. I just realized there was a bit that I forgot to mask off, so I'm gonna quickly do that now. But a lot of food products here will have not just a best before date that you have to have consumed the product by, but will also advise once you've like opened the product that you should consume it within X number of days. Sometimes they'll just say, you know, like, like you use by this date and that's all. But sometimes they'll say things like, you know, even if it's before the best before date, once opened, consume within like 10 days or whatever. But with the hummus, when we buy the hummus, it says once opened, use within 2 days. And that's too much of it for me. That's way too much. Especially because I tend to crave a little bit of variety. Sometimes I do get hyperfixated on a specific food ingredient, but like, there's like quite a lot of olive oil in it. It's a quite high-fat food, so I don't want to be eating like half of a pot in the space of a day, because that's actually quite rich. I mean, it's got a lot of healthy ingredients in it as well, but it's still quite rich. So that's, if that's like my entire day's allotment of like olive oil, just in, like multiple tablespoons of chickpea spread, that kind of sucks. She is humoring the humus, says Sammy Ann. Oh my god, I love it. Humus made from humans, hence the pronunciation. Oh my god. Ew, no. I don't eat mammals. This is actually a handy device to know, says Sammy Ann. I have no idea how long I should be keeping things after opening. However, I'm still alive, so I'm not doing that badly. Honestly? Sorry, love? Still a bit left. There's a bit left. Okay, I might have it with a fin crisp later, because we're just having soup for tea, so I might have a bit of that Skovman toast with the last bit of it, or maybe just like a fin crisp or something. Anyways, it is a useful thing to know, but I think generally, and I guess it's an important thing to tell people because not everyone will have received this wisdom like when they were growing up. But And, oh god, you know, like, my parents, bless them, I love them to bits, but when I was growing up, my parents would just cut the moldy parts off of the edges of cheese and then keep eating the rest of the cheese. And maybe I just have like the autism superpower of just being a super smeller for these things, but I could tell that the cheese smelled and tasted different, and therefore I did not want to eat it because it tasted off. I don't care if you can't see the mold on it anymore because you cut off the specific moldy bits. And I know that it's, you know, like, frugality that was probably learned behavior from, like, times of greater scarcity, like rationing and that kind of thing, like, a long time ago. But, just buy smaller portions of cheese so they don't get moldy before you finish eating them. Unless it's a cheese that's supposed to have a specific type of mold on it, in which case that's acceptable. That is a safe mold that is specifically intended for that cheese. If it's any other kind of mold, you shouldn't be eating it. Yeah, census, we learned that the mold will also grow inside and actually usually be invisible, so no cutting around it. Yeah, exactly. If you can see visible mold on the outside of the cheese that was not intended to be there, it means that, like, whatever, like, gubbins is creating that visible mold has permeated at least some distance into the cheese itself, and you should not be eating it. But I don't know, maybe this was a Canada thing, because Sammy Ann's parents did the same thing. But you know, I think to that end, there's kind of a balance between these two extremes of, like, the hummus has been open for 2 days, we have to throw it away, even though it looks and smells totally fine, versus this food has visually spoiled, let's just scrape the visually spoiled bit off and then eat the rest. Like, if there's a moldy slice of bread in your bread loaf, don't eat the bread. Like, no. Like, especially for soft, like, I hate to, I'm trying to think of a synonym for the M word, because I know some people don't like that word, which Canadians may remember was the name of a band in the 90s. But, you know, soft foods that have a lot of like water content to them, shall we say, like bread, for instance, or cheeses, especially soft cheeses, but, you know, some harder cheeses as well. Like, I would say, like, something like a mild or medium cheddar is like a semi-hard cheese, you know what I mean? Anyways, my health is precarious enough at this point. My immune system is attacking itself when I eat a plate of pasta these days. So, bear with for just 1 second. I'm going to take care of the technical difficulties while I ramble to you about food safety. I don't really want to take risks with things like visible mold. Not to be super gross, but there was a restaurant that I really wanted to go to in LA. I was going to take my partner to this place to have brunch when we were in Los Angeles last. And we decided that we couldn't bother to, like, make reservations and go do the whole thing. So we ended up just having, like, coffee and pastries at, like, Intelligentsia, which is a small chain of coffee shops. And it was very good. They did a Queen Amand with a miso caramel. It was delicious. But this brunch place that we didn't go to, I subsequently heard that in their kitchens, they would take they were known for their, like, famous jams. They would do this really famous, like, gourmet jam toast. And they would literally have containers of jam that had spoiled, and they would just scoop the mold off the top and then continue serving the jam. I'm so sorry. 'Cause that's nasty. And if I may say, don't do that. Oh my god. That's not, don't do that. That's unsafe. Anyways. Sammy says I'm dying laughing now. My whole child is in question. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Anyways, I'm so sorry for the story. The place is called Squirrel, by the way. Don't go there if it's still open. But yeah, I'm guilty of being a mold cutter offer, says Dan, until I was diagnosed with Crohn's and was explicitly told not to do that because it's asking for trouble. Oh boy. Yeah. Yup. I mean, yeah, especially if you have like if you have chronic tummy trouble, like medically speaking, definitely don't want to take risks with that. So yes, good. Excuse me. Anywho, um, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the whole reason that I got back onto this topic was the use within 2 days pot of hummus. And I don't know why. I tend to try to adhere to this because it's possible that they're just experts and know more than I do. But I also think that, like, for instance, if you've ever bought, like, a bag of fruits or vegetables that have some kind of best before date on them, like, you don't throw your apples out just because they're, like, a couple days out of date. If they look and feel perfectly fresh, they're fine. But likewise, if your milk expires in 2 days, but it smells horrific and it's weirdly thick, like, that's probably a case for don't drink it. That's probably a case for be annoyed at the supermarket that it went off before it went out of date. But yeah, some of the like use within X amount of time just feels weirdly cautious, especially based on like past experiences of having consumed a reasonable amount of hummus back in the old country that I'm sure was in my fridge for like a solid week and was absolutely fine. Had the same ingredient set as the ones you get here, It's olive oil, it's chickpeas, it's tahini and seasonings and lemon juice. So, what gives? And the answer is great big I don't know. But, maybe the supermarket knows better than me in this case. I hope it's not all just a con to get you to buy more of it, because that would really get my goat, frankly. But just decanting some paint out onto the palette. Loading my brush up with lots of lovely, lovely violet hue. This is such a gorgeous color. This is, by weight, equal parts quinacridone violet and viridian with just a little bit of ultramarine. And it makes such a pretty color. So stinking pretty. Anyways, I'm watering it down quite a bit because I don't think I want it to be super dark or weirdly consumerist, aka make you buy quicker, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, says Sammy Ann. I mean, that's also very possible that they want you to buy more stuff. I mean, anyone who's ever fallen victim to the, oh, well, it's like, it's 3 for the price of 2, so I really only needed 1, but I'm getting much better value for money if I buy more of them. But you've still ended up spending twice as much money to get 3 times as much stuff you didn't need. So, is that really value? Is it really? Speaking of value, I mean, there's someone I watch on YouTube who does a lot of advent calendar reviews. And one of her sort of a lot of her focus when doing advent calendar reviews is, does this advent calendar give you value for money? In terms of, like, you spent £43 on the advent calendar, how much is the stuff inside it actually worth? And I think that's in some cases kind of a weird question to ask about advent calendars, because, like, surely at least some of the value comes from the fun and the delight of getting a fun surprise every day, even if it's just a piece of, like, NAF chocolate, it's still kind of a fun surprise. It's like, what shape will this NAF chocolate piece be? Or if you're fancy, good quality chocolate. My moderator / spouse had a Terry's chocolate orange one this past December, which was very enjoyable. Though he did find it slightly annoying that they were different shaped pieces. Like, oh, this one is shaped like a little present, and this one is shaped like a little Christmas pudding. But they would have like two present shaped ones in a row, or two Christmas pudding shaped ones in a row, two tree shaped ones. And it just feels like they weren't really putting in an effort at that point, because it's like, surely you would want to vary that up a little bit so you're not getting the same thing that many times in a row, but anyways. Oh man, this color is fun. This color is super fun, and I really love it. You do start to see the as it sits in this sort of very wet wash here on the palette, you start to see the way that the colors want to the pigments and the different weights of pigment kind of separating out, and you are seeing that a little bit on the canvas as well, which I just think is so fun. So this will be really fun to work with, I think, as like the backdrop for this piece. I hope it's cute so far. Anyways, but yeah, I can see for certain advent calendars, especially like the more expensive ones, the ones where you're spending over like £100 on it, you kind of want to feel like you're getting at least over £100 worth of stuff out of it, you know? And it feels like some companies putting out advent calendars are doing it just as a means of getting rid of some old stock that wasn't selling in and of itself. And now they can kind of, you know, make some space in their warehouse, which is horrible, but yeah. I'm gonna catch up with chat real quick because I think there's some interesting things being said. Sammy Ann says, having just gone through the meat products being measured in the packaging and priced accordingly in the bread cartel here in Canada. Oh, boo earns. Boo earns bread. I am surprised by how expensive some stuff is in Canada, and some stuff feels very comparatively cheap to me coming from the UK. But I was looking at Canadian groceries on like the Zayre's website just yesterday. Because I was just curious as to what kind of provision there will be for my various dietary needs the next time I go visit my family. And the answer is there's quite a lot, but holy heck, some of it is annoyingly expensive compared to the regular ones. Like $4 for a box of gluten-free KD? Are you kidding me? That's Kraft Dinner mac and cheese for anyone who doesn't know. $4 for a box. What the hell? Anyways, that just feels like I'm being robbed. Sammy Ann says, I'm annoyed at the tea advent calendars lately. The price has gone up, but the amount of tea inside has been reduced. Oh my goodness. You know, I do feel like the tea advent calendars are a little bit too expensive, but I guess you're paying for the surprise and delight of trying new teas. I don't know. I'm gonna drop a cute, super quick little BRB. Please enjoy the BRB screen in the meantime, and I will be right back, and hopefully some of this paint will have dried by the time I return. Enjoy that. Oh, there's the BRB screen. Enjoy the BRB screen. In the meantime, I shall see you in just a moment. BRB. Hey friends, I'm back. Hello. Sorry about that. I'm here. I fixed myself a fresh beverage, and I hope that you had a nice BRB. Hello. Hi, Tals. Welcome on in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you, and welcome on in. Hope you're having a very good day. I have painted what I think looks like a very pretty watercolored wallpaper. That's the word I was looking for. It is a wallpaper. For the cozy little cottage of these two little hamster people. So I would like now to do the floor. And I wonder, I'm thinking probably just like a hardwood situation. I'm thinking probably just a hardwood situation. It's hard to find good pictures of Victorian interiors that don't feel a little too fancy. I did contemplate whether or not we want to append sort of like a rug into the scene, but I'm like, oh, if I put a rug, then I'm gonna have to put all kinds of little tiny details onto the rug, and that sounds like a lot of work. So maybe this part of this, no, but rugs were really, there were a lot of rugs is my point. So maybe there is a bit of rug. So I will grudgingly add a bit of rug, but it's just going as far as under that little chair. So it's the bit that you're most likely to stand and be on for any period of time. And I'm doing that because it just feels in character for Victorian interior, I suppose. Oh well. Anywho, I'm gonna try and make like a somewhat warmish, brownish color. But this palette is fairly limited in its scope. So I am limited by my palette with what I can do. The only concession that I'm making to stepping fully outside the palette for any element of the piece is the hamster's fur, because I will absolutely not be able to capture the look of the hamster's fur using the color palette that I have, because it looks like I'm making my way to changing the scene. Looks like that. So it is definitely quite a bit different. And I want to make sure that that is captured. Anywho. But yeah, I wanted to do like violet walls in the background because obvious gay symbolism. Ladies and violets, it's a thing. Anywho. Moving on from whatever we were talking about before I left. I was, as you do, watching a review of the TV show Sherlock this afternoon. So that was fun. And it just reminded me of anyone who was a Tumblr user around the time of that show ending. I remember I'd watched all the episodes of it leading up to the last season, and then I watched the last season. Or rather, I watched the first episode of the last season, and then I was like, I can't be bothered. I didn't watch the rest of them. But I heard things because I knew people who were very, very invested in that whole fictional world. And I just remember people, like, the last episode aired, and it was a disappointment. An incredible disappointment for most viewers, I think, to the extent that people theorized that this can't possibly be the real last episode. It's a fake out because they're too clever to do something this weird and bad. Therefore, there must be like a secret extra episode, and people were looking at like the listings, like the TV listings for the next week at that time slot, and they're like, oh, it's a secret coded message, and I figured it, and it turns out that no, it was just a completely different TV show that had nothing to do with it. But people got so, it's because they set up a show that had all these twists and turns and mysteries and all that jazz that people were primed to expect that there was some sort of clever, cunning plan at the end there, that the actual final episode was so nonsensical and very stupid that it couldn't possibly be the real final episode, and that therefore there was going to be a secret actual final episode that explained everything. And no, of course there wasn't. It was just a case of some writers didn't know how to end it well, and they didn't. And sometimes, what is the name of that situation or that idea that more often than not the simplest explanation will be the correct explanation. That most of the time the most straightforward explanation for anything is like that. That's it. That's the answer. The answer is whatever's easy. And the answer in this case wasn't anything grand and interesting and, super, super clever. It was simply the simple, stupid fact that the writers created something that was fun and people really enjoyed, and then just really didn't stick the landing when it came to ending the series. The end! Very disappointing for a lot of people, I know. And I've Occam's razor. Thank you, Dan. That's the term I was looking for. The simplest explanation is most often the right one. Um, and yeah, I think I did watch, but like I said, I did watch most of that show and let sort of the silliness and the adventure wash over me. And I think after the first series, I kind of started to grow a little bit. Well, this isn't actually, some of this isn't actually that good. I was never really a fan of when shows start falling into the whole, oh, but you know, they fall into the trap of, oh, this episode was actually all a hallucination because your detective character has been doing too many drugs, or, oh, the reason that this mystery didn't make sense is because they dreamt it and that wasn't actually part of the mystery at all. It's just, no, you know, like imagine if like, I don't know, did any of Miss Marple's mysteries end in, you know, she wakes up from like a cocaine induced stupor and it turns out that what she thought was someone, you know, finding a dead body in the library was actually just like a drug induced dream. I don't think that happened, but I confess there might be some Miss Marples that I'm not familiar with. But I'm really not a fan of that kind of storytelling. Because it leads you down this path of, like, the part of the fun of, like, a murder mystery type program is trying to figure out, based on all of the little clues and bits of foreshadowing and stuff that you are shown and told, and piecing together from that, oh, I wonder if it's that one, or like, is this just a red herring, or do they actually have something to do with that? That's fun. That's the fun of it, is trying to solve the puzzle along with the detectives. So when it turns out that this puzzle is unsolvable because, you know, it none of it's real, it's just like, oh, well then why are you wasting my time with it, show? Am I being mean here? I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, because the Sherlock show definitely did that at some point. Because wasn't there an episode where they were like, where it like was the 19th century all of a sudden or something? Because that, if they'd just done that as like, and you know, some shows have done this before where it's just like, this episode exists outside of canon, we just wanted to do this for fun. They should have just done that, because that would have just been fun, but no, it was a whole like, oh, he's doing too much drugs, or what. I'm just like, oh, whatever. Anyways. Sorry about me moaning about TV shows that haven't been on for years. Hey, Many Distractions, welcome on in. Thank you very much for the 45 stream streak. Enjoy your 45 steaks, Many Distractions. I hope you've got a reasonably capacitated freezer for storing all of those bad boys, and I hope you enjoy them very much. Thank you. I hope everyone enjoys this floor, which I have now painted in, and I think I should be able to extricate this masking fluid fairly safely, because we've had a chance to let all of this gubbins go nice and bone dry. Speaking of the 19th century, that's where these little hamsters are from, and they're very happy too. Anyhoosins. It also gives me an opportunity and an excuse to draw a tiny little hamster wearing little hamster bloomers. And frankly, I love that for me. Yeah, Dan says, yeah, there was an episode where Sherlock was just tripping on a plane and woke up at the end. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it just defeats the fun of trying to solve a mystery to me if the solution is that the writers didn't actually have to come up with a solution for all of these clues to fit together or make sense, because they don't make sense because it's all a dream. Haha, guess you would have never figured that out, viewers. You suck. It's just like, okay, you know what? Well, no, now I no longer have any inclination to try and solve any of your mysteries, because I don't trust that anything you put into the show is not just going to be a drug-fueled hallucination. What's the point? Anyways. Samuel, thank you very much for the lurk. Thank you. It's kind of like, there was also that situation where, between 2 of the seasons, I can't remember if it was the numbers 1 and 2 or numbers 2 and 3. I don't remember. Anyways, we think that the main character died. But of course, we know that he didn't die, but it really looked like he died. So we have an entire, like, season hiatus to try and figure out, or series hiatus, sorry, we're in the UK, to figure out how the heck that character didn't die of whatever it really looked like he was dead from. And lots of people have really good, interesting theories that could conceivably, you know, a lot of speculation, a lot of thinking about, like, well, okay, what makes narrative sense? What makes practical sense? How might they go about explaining this? How are they going to do it? Yada, yada, yada. And then the first episode of the next series comes along and it's like, oh, no, he's been fine the whole time. And he just emerges from his, you know, sort of self-imposed disappearance. Like it's no thing. And they go through the episode of different people outlining different theories as to how they think that he faked his death, and he's just like, to every single one, he's like, no, that didn't happen. No, I didn't do that. His answer to all of it is just no. And when pressed for an explanation of, well, what did you do? He's just like, no. And they just never answer it. The answer to how did you do this seemingly impossible thing is to just say, we're not going to explain it to you. Which, as a viewer who is also a writer, what that says to me is, to be honest, we didn't think that far ahead, and we didn't realize that people were going to guess this many possibilities, and since we can't use any of the things that people have guessed, otherwise it's not going to be an effective twist, so we're just going to not do anything. Which feels bad, actually. Dan says, I watch TV shows to escape from my drug-fueled hallucinations. Thank you very much. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It was so unsatisfying, says Talis. Yes, exactly. It's like the dream. So I oftentimes have dreams very early in the morning, just before I'm about to, you know, get up and start my day. Where I'm assuming my brain is reconciling, like, the sounds of sort of, like, you know, the neighbors in adjacent homes to us making sounds, like opening and closing their doors as they head out for their days, and, you know, doing whatever, reconciling, or things happening outside my window as people are, you know, sort of getting in and out of their cars and yada yada yada. It interprets that as, like, because I can't, you know, I'm asleep, I can't really triangulate where the sound is, but it sounds close enough that it could be in the house. So I oftentimes have dreams where it's implied or explicitly that there's someone in my house, that there's someone trying to break into my house. And this morning, it was so vividly realistic, is the worst part of these dreams. There's no, like, surreal elements that would tell me in hindsight that, oh, that was obviously a dream. I dream that I wake up, I get out of bed, I hear sounds in the house, and this morning, the dream went that I heard some kind of sound out by the front door. So I was like, oh, I better check that out. So I go to the front door, and I see that my moderator/spouse's coat that he didn't wear that morning had fallen onto the floor from the, like, coat hook. And so I go to hang it back up on the door, and then I notice that the door is slightly open, and I'm like, oh, did we forget to close the door when he left for work today? So I shut the door, and that's when I notice the bathroom is right next to the front door in the little sort of vestibule of the house. And I noticed that the bathroom door is closed, which is unusual, and that the bathroom light is on inside the bathroom door. So, so I, like, knock on the door, there's no answer. I go to, like, open the bathroom door, and it's locked. And then I wake up. And I very cautiously go look, and the door is shut, the coat is where it should be, and the bathroom door is open and the light's off. Because obviously it was a dream, but it was such a realistic dream. Like, every detail about my house is exactly the same as my house is. I did not like that. That was genuinely when I have dreams like this, it really puts me into a weird headspace for the morning, because I'm just like, ah, must be alert. What if there's secretly someone in the house, you know? And I don't enjoy that feeling. It's not a pleasant feeling. Anyways, definite yikes. Yeah, definite yikes. It's Zote, says Many Distractions. He's trying to steal your fight milk. No, not my precious fight milk, but it's so delicious. Get your own fight milk, Zote. What a loser. Anyways, in case anyone's curious, I'm drinking a Milo at the moment, which is rich and chocolatey, and I made it with oat milk. Mmm. Yum, yum, yum. Anywho. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, sometimes I feel bad about, you know, sort of, being very critical of, you know, creative works that people have made that exist in real life. And have, you know, a lot of people put a lot of work into these. They had very, like, the Sherlock, for instance, had very high budgets. You know, like, a lot of people put a lot of time and work into making this really beautiful. The writers put a lot of work into writing something that they thought was really good. I feel bad pointing out the things that aren't good about it, but also I think that it's important to talk about the aspects of, you know, sort of published works like this and what works within them and what doesn't work within them, because oftentimes the best way to learn how to make something good is to look at something that has flaws in it and think about how to change that in a way that would make the work better. So, you know, I don't know if Stephen Moffat is watching my streams. Listen, like, respect, dude. You know, that surely wasn't an easy TV show to make. And you probably also recognize that there are shortcomings to it, and that's okay. I hope you're having a nice day. I genuinely do. Anyways, Many Distractions says, the dreams that mess me up are the ones where I will wake up only to find out I'm still dreaming. Ah, yes, absolutely. Sometimes I'll just have a dream that I'm, like, awake in bed and then wake up. I'm like, no! Ah! Why? But yeah, like, the there's someone in the house dreams are just, absolute worst. And they tend to happen very shortly before I, like, wake up properly for the day. And they're so mean, and I don't like them. When will the government put a stop to dreams where you think that you've woken up, but you're still asleep? 'Cause I don't know, I feel like this is something that needs to be addressed. Anyways. Anywho. Tra-la-la. I am trying to figure out, from the colors that I have at my disposal, what color this rug should be. I'm thinking like a rich, if I do like a rich blue, then I can do some nice sort of violet accents that mirror the wallpaper, and I think that could be quite, oh, for crying out loud, never mind. I can't do anything. Many Distractions says, agreed, a part of solving problems involves noticing them in the first place. Exactly. It's an important aspect of problem solving to be able to recognize that something's a problem. That's the first step to solving it. Okay. I'm restarting my, I can't believe it's twice this stream. So rude. Sorry about that, everybody. Anyways. No. Okay. I'm restarting my camera software. Hello, Elgato, says Many Distractions. Hello, Elgato, says Taliesin. Yep, indeed. Okay, we should have camera again now. Sorry about that, everybody. Very, very sorry indeed. There we are. Hi. Pretzels. Okay. So I'm going to do this rich blue, I think. Which the pan looks like this, and despite having, like, I would say the most amount of this paint, I haven't actually used very much of it. So, let's change that. Yay. Anywho. What was I talking about? Writing, thinking about writing, critiquing writing, all that jazz. Something along those lines. Oh yeah, another thing that I find interesting, this is more within sort of like critical circles and less, you know, to the author directly. But I always find quite interesting when you're in a disagreement with someone about whether or not by Elgato's as many distractions. Yeah. When you're in a disagreement with someone about whether or not something was a good writing decision or a poor writing decision, or whether or not something felt in character for whatever character is being written. And I always find it, I didn't realize really how to sort of qualify this kind of critical discourse for a really long time. But actually it is kind of it feels appropriate for a discussion where we started talking about the Sherlock show. And apologies to anyone who did like the Sherlock show. I did too for like the first couple seasons. And if you do like it, that's awesome. Don't ever let anyone critique you out of enjoying something that you just think is fun. But sometimes I've found myself reading people's sort of debate over, you know, certain narrative choices that writers have made about, like, sort of long-running characters, and one person saying, oh, it felt really out of character to have them do this thing or act in this way, and you'll have someone else argue, well, it was his choice to do that, so you can't say that it was out of character because it's something that character did. And what that kind of disagreement, I think, really often comes down to is that one person is making a Doyleist observation, like they're looking at it from the perspective of a writer made a choice to have a character act in this way, and the other person is looking at it from a Watsonian perspective, that is to say, a person acted in this way, therefore it makes sense for that person because that's a choice that they made. And these two people are never going to come to an agreement, because one person is talking about the actions of a character and the other person is talking about the actions of a writer, and the two things exist on different planes. You know, both types of literary analysis are interesting and valid to think about, but you can't really pit one against the other on the same level, because ultimately you're arguing about two different things, you know? And I just always think it's quite interesting when people have that kind of clash, because it's not really a clash. You're just kind of zooming past each other. And once you know those two terms and to think about those two terms, it gets a lot easier not to get embroiled in those sorts of disagreements with other readers of things. But yeah, anyways. Dan says, I did enjoy it mostly, and I won't disagree it had its flaws. Yeah, exactly. I thought a lot of it was really fun. I thought it was very well acted, and genuinely, you know, you could see that there was a lot of care and attention put into the filming of it, and that was delightful. But also, it definitely had some issues that, if you're the kind of person like me who likes thinking about this stuff, is worth thinking about. Also, I kind of fancied the psychopath sister. Oh yes, now I didn't actually watch the final episode because I was like, oh, this is silly, I'm done. But with that being said, I'm not sure that this color is a little bit too bright for the rest of the scene. Oh no. So I might end up toning that down a smidge. Just doing like a glaze over it with something a little bit less crazy bright blue, purple, blurple. But yeah, I did obviously hear about and see like clips of the last episode where we find out that like he had a sister all along that he just never talked about and didn't acknowledge because she's crazy. And yeah, but I mean, she was very pretty, so that's very valid. But even if I thought that was a very silly plot point, because it did come, it was one of those sort of just out of nowhere reveals that it's like, I never would have guessed this, and I'm honestly not really sure what it's adding. Many Distractions says, mental health stereotype. Oh yeah, don't you just love that? Don't you just love but she's, it's like, she, I don't know, wants to mess with Sherlock because she's crazy and she's like locked up in some sort of, she's in some like maximum security weird room somewhere. I didn't watch it, but I remember seeing, she's in like prison-y looking, hospital looking scrubs in a glass walled room, and then they play violins together because she just wanted to hang and make music. And that's it. That's all. It's like, it was just a whole special facility, says Tals. Wow. And this never came up before? Like, it just feels weird. Didn't we meet his parents at some point? Wouldn't she have been in like some family photos and Martin Freeman would have been like, who's this little girl? And they would have had to been like, oh, yeah, so about her. And that just never like, anyways. It's just a little bit goofy to me, that's all. Just a tittle bit goofy. Everything's fine, says Many Distractions. Everything's fine, don't worry about it. Anywho, I still haven't decided what painting's going to be on the wall in this piece. But I am making a nice Richard Brown to be the frame. I can no longer think of things being colored like a rich brown without just thinking that's got to be someone's name. There is at least probably a handful of men out there in the world whose names are Richard Brown. There was, this is something that happened to me a few days ago. I fell into a deep dive with regard to the, a series of adverts for a furniture store back in the Greater Toronto area in Canada that was originally owned by a man who went on to become the mayor of Toronto for many, many years, named Mel Lastman. Which sent me into looking up stuff about former Toronto Mayor Mel Lastman, which sent me in the direction of some really unfortunately like grandpa-y type things that he said around Toronto's bid to be an Olympic host. And when I say grandpa-y, I mean like your doesn't realize that it's not okay to say these racist things, grandpa, kind of things. Otherwise, from the sound of his Wikipedia article, a lot of his, like, policies and stuff for the city were actually pretty good. But he also said these really racist grandpa things, which is really unfortunate. But anyways, there was a response from someone who was a reasonably high-ranking representative for the, like, International Olympic whatever at the time. And the man's name was just so unfortunate. And I just... like, he has to know. He has to know. And I feel bad. I feel bad, like, about having noticed and pointing it out at all, but I don't even want to say what his name is, because it just feels rude, y'all. Like, you could have just gone by Richard. But he didn't. And giggling about it feels mean. But, like, he has to know. Like, he's gotta, right? You don't have a name like that and not know. Oh, boy. Anyways, I'm so sorry, Mr. Pound. I'm sure he's a very nice man. Dan says, I knew a man called Richard Mycock. Is it him? Oh, no. Oh, Dan. Oh, no. That is likewise unfortunate. I know what IOC person that is, says Talls. Yes. Yes. You know, just, oh, no. I just sharing, because it gave me a real oh no moment when I was reminded of this man in my looking at other things-ness. This past week. Because yeah, that was, oh, that's just a carload of oh dear, isn't it? Oh, that's a festival of oh beans. Anyways, this is an 18+ stream for grown-ups. Even if sometimes the things that give us the giggles are very immature, at least to me anyways. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. Anywho. To completely veer off of that topic, I still don't 100% know what we're doing for Thursday's stream, because it is my 4-year streamiversary celebrations this week. I wanted to ease into the week with just a regular normal Monday stream, and then do some proper festivities on Thursday and Friday. But to tell you the full honest truth, I still don't know what those festivities are going to entail. Might be some deeply silly art, might be some cozy game. I'm not sure. I don't know. If anyone has any really strong feelings or preferences, I'd love to hear about it. Whatever it will be, I'm sure will be as good a time as ever. And your mileage may vary as to how good that might be. But I hope it's good. I hope it's good. What was I gonna say? We'll be doing some cozy gaming on Friday as well. We'll do some couple of giveaways probably, if people would be interested in potentially winning some stuff that I've made. I enjoy doing giveaways. I think other people enjoy doing giveaways because people enter them, so that would be, I think, a nice thing to do as well. Got this very interestingly wooded table here. But whatever we do, it'll be a fun time. But I want to do something slightly different than the norm because it's a celebration stream. So, many distractions. Speaking of which, I finally got around to watching the Spotted Dick video. Very informative. Oh, thank you so much. I'm really glad that it's being seen. That was a long one in the making, but it was a lot of fun to do. And I feel like possibly because of the subject matter, it didn't really take off very well in the old YouTube algorithm, which made me feel a little bit sad. So it's nice to know when someone has actually seen it. Because we worked really hard on it, and it involved doing some things that I have not done before. Like boiling pudding. and learning a lot. And there is a lot to learn in it. I am still trying to film the last bits of my next video, and I'm working on the script for the video after that, and I'm hoping that I might be able to kind of simultaneously film 2 videos that have very different subject matters in the interest of actually getting some videos out onto the channel a little bit more frequently than I have hitherto been able to do. That's one of the things that I want to kind of try and prioritize this year is actually making more than 2 or 3 videos a year. Would be really nice. We've gotten off to a really poor start because the video that I am working on that's going to be going up next, I was hoping to have filmed and finished back in November. And then I got waylaid by quite a few things. Mainly being sick, but also being busy when I wasn't being sick, that kind of hampered my ability to get that done as quickly as I'd like. And now I feel like I've been sitting with the script for so long that I'm getting doubts about it when I really shouldn't, because it's a perfectly cromulent script. I don't think it's the most hilariously entertaining video that I've done, but I think it'll be a fun time anyways. I hope, but, Many distractions. Sorry it took me so long to be honest. I'm kind of a mess, hence my name. Absolutely no apologies necessary. Like, I know that I talk about doing this stuff, but no one is under any obligation to consume any of the things that I make, by any means. You do not need to apologize for not having seen a video I made. It is entirely fine. I fully respect your time. And if you have other things to do, then by all means, you don't have to watch any of my videos. You don't have to watch my streams if you don't want to. But I'm very happy that you're here for the things that you do enjoy. I really do. It's taken so long to write all the hip slang that is out of date. It's taken so long to write all the hip slang is out of date now. Oh my god. Dan, I don't think I've ever been hip. I don't think I have ever in my whole life been hip. I really don't. I think sometimes my hips hurt because I'm over 40, but, apart from that. Okay. Let me just paint in the elegant wooden feet of this chair. By the way, the sort of the shape of this chair is based on some examples of 19th century chairs that I found in my searches. However, with the crucial change that I shortened the legs of the chair by I shaved about 2/3 off of the legs of the chair so that it would be closer to the floor. Because these hamsters just have little tittle leggies. And I didn't want them to have to, scramble to climb up into a chair that's too tall for them. So I have scaled it fully to hamster size for my little ladies here. And I think they're very grateful for that. Oh, jeez. Okay. Anywho. So that's that. That's that. I'm going to take some of this red. I think I want this to be a quite sort of plush, velvet looking color. A nice hard wearing cotton velvet that'll be nice and soft to sit on. Nice and comfy. But this red is a little too red, so I'm gonna add some bluey violety gubbins to it to hopefully make something that's a little bit more in the area of a burgundy perhaps. And I think I'll try this color to blend into it to try and arrive at that. We'll see how it looks. Okay, so far that doesn't look any different. Did I actually pick up any paint there, or did I just rub my brush on it? There's such precious beans, this many distractions. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. They are... I draw a lot of... I draw a lot of gay little dudes. It turns out. And you know, I'm fine with that being parts of my niche. We've got our gnome husbands, we've got our little hamster ladies. We've got just an endless array of little guys in various landscapes. We have sincere pirate fan art, which I will be drawing next week. Because I know how to have fun, and that's just, you know, it's cozy January, and I want to do something that just makes me feel good, and sometimes I just want to do sincere pirate fan art, so there. But red makes it go faster, says many distractions. That's the magic of red. Absolutely. When I was growing up, my dad had a red Pontiac car, and let me tell you, when I tell you that car was like the gotta go fast mobile, I mean, it wasn't, because my parents are incredibly safe, cautious drivers. But it felt like it was the gotta go fast mobile, because it had a sunroof, and it was red. And we'd listen to my dad's cassette tapes and go driving. Like, what cassette tapes? Traveling Wilburys, Led Zeppelin, Hendrix. I think he had a Tragically Hip album. You know, fun dad music. So sporty, says Tal. So sporty. They did eventually swap it out for a more sensible Toyota. But it was fun while it lasted. It was a good car. But eventually it did reach the end of its life, and I was very sad to see it go. I had a lot of fresh memes of driving down the highway in that car on a summer's day with the sunroof down, the wind going whap, 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 whap as we drove. Yeah, fresh memes. Fresh memes. Anyways. Okay. Alright, this is a different color to what I was imagining, but I do think that this has a very sort of nice, plush, plummy, velvety kind of vibe to it, actually. So I am not mad about it at all. Very much am I not mad about this color. There we go. And then, this brush feels ever so slightly too big for this fiddly tiny little area, so I'm being very careful. Oh, heck. Oh, beans. Okay, there we go. There's that other sort of little arm bit of the chin. And as always, there's just way too much paint for the amount of paint that I actually need. Way more paint got mixed up than I needed, but oh well, never mind. It is kind of getting a little bit lighter as it dries, though, so hopefully it doesn't get too light as it dries. I would like it to have a little bit of a depth to it. The chair, I think. I do want to maybe glaze over this rug, though, because I feel like it's just a little... The ultramarine pigment, I think, is making it a little too ultra. It's kind of throwing off the warmth of the piece. So I might just throw a little bit of the... Maybe a nice sort of gray or something over it, just to tone it down a smidge. Make it a little bit less poppy. Anyways. Many distractions says it's one part of Warhammer lore that always tickles me. Basically, if orcs believe something hard enough becomes true. So red for them literally makes things go faster. That is... Everything I learn about Warhammer lore is just so stinking cute. That is adorable. Red makes things go faster. Bless them. Orcs are delightful. I painted an orc once. Where is he still hanging around here someplace? Okay, well, I don't see him here. Annoyingly. But he was a very cool dude. I wanted to give him a very sort of like radical, like late 80s, early 90s kind of aesthetic with the colors of his outfit. I went to the Warhammer store with my partner a while after and saw the orcs of the same sort of model that they'd painted up as examples. And they were all in like gray and the sort of beigey color. And I'm like, mine's cooler. That's one of the things I like about these models that you can paint yourself is you can do them in whatever the hell colors you want, which is very fun because, like I said, I made mine very like I gave him like he was wearing like a fluorescent like neon looking pink top and had like a bright orange rucksack and bright blue trousers. And it was just, the whole thing really popped very well. He had little, like, canister-looking things on his rucksack, and so I painted them up to look like little cans of Mountain Dew. It was a fun time. I think we named him Gaz. Or Daz. It was either Gaz or Daz. Now I can't remember. But as was explained to me by my moderator / spouse who knows more about Warhammer than I do, the orcs are kind of like, they're very like lads. And so it's like, oh, well, he has to have one of those like British lad names like Gaz or Daz or other things that end in Z for some reason are very popular. Gaz, Daz, Jez, you know, like all of those. is a very English thing that I didn't realize was a very English thing until I lived here. But yeah. I don't know where he's gone. Oh no. I hope he hasn't fallen down behind the desk or something, which is very, very possible. So, oh no, if that is the case. I should probably figure out what's going to be in this picture frame here. I was thinking of possibly just putting, oh, Daz, total ledge, utter arch, bitch. Thank you, Dan. Amazing. Absolute ledge. Someone put together a compilation of just posts of, like, lads being ledges. And some of them were just so, they were all just like, oh, no, look at, look at, you know, look at Mike, what an absolute ledge, you know, and it's like, oh, don't let, I can't think of any man's names all of a sudden. Don't let Tim have a couple of bevies and a broom, and it was just a guy who's, like, absolutely losing it because his friend has a broom and he's sweeping up. And that's apparently total ledge behavior. There was a picture of a guy who just sat down on the curb. And they were like, oh, look at you, total ledge. And I'm like, oh, bless these little boys. That's so cute. Oh, I love it. It's just adorable. Anyways. I really love this color. I think this color is really cool and fun. I'm very happy with that. I genuinely don't know what to do in this. I was literally gonna just do, I was literally just gonna recreate this painting. But I feel like that's so much detail. I don't want to do that much detail. So now I don't know what to do in that picture frame, to spare myself having to do that much detail. One cheeky Nando's and all bets are off. So Stan, yep, absolutely. Fun fact, actually, I've lived in the UK for nearly 12 years. Not once have I been to a Nando's. It's always felt a little pointless because I have a sneaking suspicion that like the only thing that I can have on the menu is probably chips because their whole deal is chicken and I don't eat chickens. So feels kind of moot. So, kind of defeats the purpose. Anyways, for tonight's dinner, I am having a rustic vegetable soup, which I'm very excited about. It's got lentils and kale in it. I am not making it from scratch because it's Monday night and I'm tired. I've been once and it was very underwhelming, says Dan. Yeah, it seems like it's just... I mean... It's a reasonably inexpensive restaurant. So, it's not going to be... And it's a reasonably inexpensive chain restaurant, so it's not going to be earth-shatteringly delicious. I know it's one of those things that sometimes when I see, like, tourists and stuff coming to the UK, and they're like, oh, we found this place called Weatherspoons, it was so cool, and you're kind of, like, cringe, and you're like, oh, no. But the thing is, if you don't have that in the country that you're from, it's kind of exciting and interesting to experience something that's a very everyday, mundane experience for people who live locally. Like... Oh boy, when I went to Denmark, I got very excited about this one brand of muesli bar that we found, which is real stupid, and most people probably don't care. But there is something very funny about, like, having, knowing people from, like, North America and seeing them, like, experiencing Nando's for the first time, being like, oh my god, and I'm like, it's fine, probably. But if you want to know some really good places to go, I can make recommendations because I live here. To be fair, Weatherspoons does have a good, relatively cheap menu. I having been to just enough Weatherspoons, I have experienced their inexpensive breakfasts and also their inexpensive just meals generally. They had like a decently edible veggie burger before a lot of other places did in this country, actually, which I really appreciate as someone who doesn't eat mammals or birds. So, thanks for that. Anyways, on that note, I'm gonna take another BRB, so I'll be back in just a minute. And hey friends, what's your favorite inexpensive chain restaurant? And or if you're from not the UK, what's an inexpensive chain restaurant from here that you've always wanted to try? And I'll be able to tell you about it back in a minute. Hello friends, I'm back. Hello. Hope you had a nice BRB period. It's nice to be back. And here's a painting. How's everyone? I hope you've had a chance to do, any self-care you may have needed to do. Any hydration that you may have needed to do, any of that jazz. I am noticing that apparently there are some skipped frames happening on stream, and I don't know why. I don't know if this is a persistent problem, but I'm getting notifications that frames are skipping, and I don't know why it's doing that, and that's very annoying. I hope this computer isn't just dying, because I can't afford a new one. I'm just a little creature, and believe it or not, just because you recognize me from the internet does not mean that I'm making, god tier money. I make half a Twitch payout a month, roughly. So, that ad schedule is really raking in the less than $1 a stream. Anyways, that is not the primary reason that I stream. I do it because it's fun. I do it because I like hanging out with y'all, and it is a major motivator that forces me to produce new artwork every single week, which I might not have the gumption to do if I was not here in the company of you beautiful people. And I know this because when I decided to start art streaming, I was coming out of a really, really, really difficult, dry spell where I basically didn't create any new art for, nearly a year. I was squeaking by doing the bare minimum that I had to do. And that was about it. And it was grim. And then I started doing art stream again, and I feel like it's really enabled me to forcibly do things that I can't always motivate myself to do, uh, just intrinsically, which has been great. Um, and also just expand my skill set. I didn't used to do backgrounds really, but I wasn't sure if just doing nothing but like character art would be interesting for people to watch. So I started adding more scenes and backgrounds, and now a lot of the time the landscape is the focus, and the characters are almost incidental to it, or a lot less the focal point, which is really interesting and fun. Anyways, I'm just doing a little glaze of this sort of grayish brown color over this rug color because I just feel like it was too vibrant for the rest of and I think that detracted from it in terms of like the balance of it versus the rest of the piece. It's quite dark now, but I'm more okay with that than it being overly vibrant compared to everything else. Anyways, Sammy makes demigod tier money. I don't know how much that would be, but yeah, I guess. Mandy Distraction says it did buffer a couple times for me, but they were pretty minor. Well, I'm glad at least they were minor, but I am a little distressed to see that they're happening at all. I don't really know. I don't know how to fix that. And that makes me scared and sad. Because I don't know if people are like, if quiet people are leaving because the frame rate is crummy. And I genuinely don't know what's causing that. I hope it's not my PNG tuber. Because in general, I don't really have anything else running when I have like the bare minimum of things running when I'm streaming. I have like a browser open. I have my camera app open. I have my PNG tuber and my chatbot and my streaming software, and that's all. Because if anything else is running in the background, it has been known to cause problems, so... not cool. Anyways, carrying on. I don't know, maybe I'll have to do a PNG tuber less stream at some point and see if it's just... Because ViadoTube is not a large program, so I would hope that it isn't ViadoTube making the frames skip, because it's just demanding enough of me that it's wrecking everything else. I don't know. But anyways, where was I? What to put here is my big question. And having had some thinky thoughts about it, I feel like I could take it in a couple of directions. I could because I was thinking of recreating that painting that I did of the two of them on the bicycle, but my god, that is so much work. That is so much work. Because that was an involved painting to do, and to try and recreate it here is also a lot of work. The other thing that I was thinking was to do like just a large sort of abstract-esque floral painting, because symbolism. So maybe I could do that. I don't know. Maybe that is what I'll do. Maybe I'll do sort of an abstract-y florally situation there. That could be quite fun. I need to look up what violets look like. Because, do I remember off the top of my head what violets look like? No, of course I don't. Violets. Bloop. Oh, thank goodness. Every time I go to look up something generic like violets or whatever, I'm like, is there secretly like a sports team or a piece of software that has the same name as this and is gonna mess up my search? Because oftentimes there is. It's really annoying. But no, in this case, violets just be violeting. Oh, I should probably do violets minus AI, because I don't want to... Because the number of times that's a problem. Like, anytime I try and get, like, some good reference photos for a bird type that I'm not able to, like, take photos of myself, I will have to do minus AI for the search. Otherwise, you're going to end up with just some stuff that on first glance of the thumbnail, you're like, okay, that's an unusual example of the... Oh, that's because that doesn't exist. I am so upset with the way that AI gums up image search. I really am. It's so heckin' annoying. I would like it to get in the bin. Very much so. The violets are the best at the sports ball games. As many distractions. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna have this be just like a really large sort of abstract-ish painting of a violet. To which end I need to figure out, so how much bigger is the canvas than this? If I have it be like that, then the petals are going to be kind of like so, and you can probably just see a little bit of the middle bit of the flower there. So I will draw in a little bit of the middle bit of the flower there. Okay, so we have our shape for their big weird canvas, which is actually even larger than I had thought. You know, actually, no, I think maybe that's a little bit too big. Hold up. This is hard. This is hard to kind of visualize. Maybe, okay. If I use like the lines, the corresponding lines here is kind of the boundaries of it. If it kind of goes out to here and then up to here, maybe. So there's like that much more of it. Okay. What I might do, this is getting so complicated, but bear with. What I might do is to go like that and like that, and just use the back of my palette card to kind of extrapolate where the boundaries of this frame actually are. Therefore, the kind of centery bit of the violet would be like here. Hello! I've made it before the raid, says Samantha. You're here before the raid! Hello! It's lovely to see you, and welcome on in. I am just attempting to draw a very large painting of a flower that they have on their wall, because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to pop into this frame, and I think a nice big flower would be real pretty. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So like this, like thus, and so. There we go. Okay. So we have the portion of the flower that is visible in frame in the painting, and now I just have some random lines on the back of this set of swatches. So fantastic. Love that for us. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's paint in this lovely little flower. Oh my god.
Sami and Art cheered. X100. Merry birthday, Sami.
Oh my god, Sammy Ann. Oh, you scared the heck out of me, but thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the 100 biddies. Oh my goodness. That was very, very kind. And that was indeed the loveliest jump scare. Biddy's jump scare. That genuinely jump scared me. But as I say, the loveliest jump scare. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okie dokie. Let me paint in these happy little flower petals. And hope that they turn out looking cute. Whoops. I did not give enough space on the end of the paper. Oh no. Oh no. Can I just erase some of that real quick? Can I just lift some of that? Merry unbirthday, says Many Distractions. Thank you for the unbirthday wishes, everyone. I do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. It is indeed not my birthday, but it is the 4th anniversary of my Twitch channel doing live streams on Wednesday. So, we might do. I'm still not 100% on what we're going to do, but I think I might paint some emotes if people would be into that. Or we might do some cozy games. I don't know. I don't know what people want from me. Truly, I don't. But I hope that people will like whatever it is that I am able to provide. And I shall do my very best to give a pleasant and enjoyable experience. As always. Anywho. These two ladies are having a pleasant and enjoyable experience. One of them is giving the other one a nice cup of hot chocolate and a little kiss. So they're having a lovely time, and I love that for them. Can we suggest emotes to paint, says Kobe? I mean, if you have amazing ideas of things that you would like to see, then sure, why not? Unless it's that, in which case, absolutely not. I mean, providing sapphic hamsters is always welcome, says Samantha. Yay! Glad you approve of our lovely, lovely ladies. And their distinctly violet wallpaper, their distinctly floral artwork, their distinctly little kissies when they bring each other hot beverages while they're reading a book. It's probably, it's that book is definitely some very, sapphically coded poetry, shall we say. Samantha says, the day I stop approving of lesbians is the day the world ends. I cannot imagine you ever not approving of lesbians, Samantha. I honestly cannot. Unless you have a massive change of heart and are like, actually, women, nah. But, like, anything's possible. People change as life goes on, but I just find it very, very, that would feel very out of character. Samuel says, how do they make their Mr. Blobby even more cursed than Mr. Blobby is? Ugh. How do so many people have emotes of Mr. Blobby? Ugh. Ah, good old Mr. Blobby. Totally wholesome and not cursed at all. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up here. Because, Kobe, how do you have two? Ah! Ah! Oh, good lord. Anyway. So I was not aware of the phenomenon of this. Oh god, there's more. No. Anyways, I was not aware of the phenomenon of this character because we did not have such things when I was in Canada. So I was only made aware of the existence of Mr. Blobby when I first moved to the United Kingdom back in 2013 when I was like almost 30. And suffice it to say, I don't get it and I find it super creepy. It's just, I have to, like, it's supposed to be creepy, right? That's the point of it, is it's supposed to be creepy? I think Mr. Blobby is an eldritch horror taken from the nightmares of British children to curse Noel Edmonds. Apparently so. Oh, you mean his #1 single didn't crack the North American charts, asks Dan? Thankfully, no. Thankfully, no. What was it that I was talking about that was quite a phenomenon back in Canada that apparently didn't make its way over here at the time? Oh, I was talking to my husband about it. It was in context of it was totally different, but it was in context of we were doing the Strands puzzle from a couple of days ago, and one of the clues for it, spoilers for the Strands puzzle from a couple days ago, was Captain Kangaroo. And he couldn't figure out what that one was until I was like, it's an animal. And then he was like, what's Captain Kangaroo? And then I had to explain Captain Kangaroo. But I was like, the thing that whenever I think of Captain Kangaroo, the thing that comes up in my head is the song Flowers on the Wall by the Statler Brothers, which apparently also didn't make very much of a splash here in the UK, which is a shame because it's a heckin' good song. I love that song. Oh god, the don't put it in your mouth puppets are not as horrific as Mr. Blobby, but they're definitely something. That is true. If you don't know the Don't Put It in Your Mouth song, it is a little, like, PSA starring some fuzzy puppets that I think they were trying to go for, like, you know, a Sesame Street kind of aesthetic, but they didn't have the budget or the artistry. Samuel says, hi, Sammy. Hi, Samuel. How are you doing? It is lovely to see you. But yeah, don't Put It in Your Mouth was a classic PSA that was about, hey, if there is an unknown substance in your house that you don't know is food, don't eat it. Kids, don't eat it. Even if it looks delicious, like that, oh man, that windscreen wiper stuff that looks really delicious, but like, it's not delicious, trust me. It's the forbidden blue raspberry. I wanted to drink that so bad when I was a child, but I was aware of the fact that if I did, it would just be gross and I would probably throw up. And or have to go have my stomach pumped. So, yeah. But anyways, there's a whole PSA about, you know, that kind of thing back in Canada, and it was, I mean, it gets the message across, but I wouldn't say it's good. A wonderful description of the hamsters from Samantha, who says, the hamster is reading a book of sapphic-coated poetry, is written by a lady who never married and shared a bed with her close female friend, who she wrote effusively romantic, tension-charged letters to for years. Yes, exactly. 100%. These, I mean, I really hope that the subtext is super text here, that these hamsters are in a romantic and sexual relationship. They are gay, okay? Please be very aware of that. They're in love. Anywho. Historians record them as roommates. It is completely impossible to know the nature of their relationship, says Samantha. They were probably really good friends. They were really good friends who liked to kiss each other in the nighttime and referred to each other in letters as wives. But what could it mean? Now, I do understand not ascribing contemporary labels of sexuality and gender to figures in the past who are dead and we cannot directly ask, especially in other times and other cultures where conceptions of, you know, sexuality and gender and stuff is not the same as we understand and have words for now. So, you know, someone in the 18th century might, if they had words for what non-binary is, be like, yeah, actually that applies to the way I feel about myself. But they didn't say that about themselves at the time, so we can't necessarily 100% say that this person was non-binary. I get that. But on the other hand, sometimes it's real obvious that this lady gay. Okay? Anyways, Voxel, hello, welcome in. Lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome. If not food, then why food shape, says Tals, because life is pain. Many Distractions says, fellow adults, eat the things before the kids do. No! We are not getting back into that. Samuel's back to lurk. Have a lovely lurk, Samuel. is that, Voxel, I am never anything other than completely serious about lesbians. The seriousness is lesbians. The hamsters are in love. The opposite of a joke. Samantha says, I think it's actually bullshit to say we cannot ascribe modern labels to them, given we are incredibly quick to ascribe modern conceptions of marriage to historically straight couples. This is true. This is true. This is very true. I think that there are some cases that, honestly, in context and with the understanding we have of said people, feels very clear cut that at the very least there's some queerness going on, you know? Like in the case of these ladies, like, you're just being obtuse if you think that they're anything other than, you know, romantically involved here. Yeah, the hamster definitely is more roommates who kiss goodnight, perfectly valid. Exactly. They're roommates who share a home and a bed and will never marry anyone else and explicitly refer to each other as their beloveds in their diaries and their letters and whatnot. But, you know, historians just don't know. I think it's... Reflecting on it, I think it's a problem to be like, oh, we can't possibly say that this you know, obviously queer historical figure was queer because, like, oh, it kind of suggests that, like, I don't know, it's like the number of people that we're perfectly happy to assume are straight because straight is the default. It's like, well, why though? You know, if the evidence is overwhelmingly that the person be queer, then hell, you're like, why not? Anyways, off topic, says Fox. So we got absolutely no snow here, but I did go ice skating today. Oh, you went ice skating? Ooh, fun. I hope you had a lovely time. I have seen so little snow. At least in my part of the country this season. I highly doubt I'm going to see any more at this point. And, you know, it does make me feel a little bit sad. As someone who comes from Canada, which is a very, very snowy country. I feel like my spirit, I think, kind of craves having 4 seasons in a way that where I live currently doesn't really get 4 seasons. Which, you know, other parts of the UK do get snow. And, consider me jelly. Especially when the snow mucks up the, infrastructure enough that the buses can't run and I don't have to go to work. That's my favorite. Anywho. The absolute worst was when, when I was a university student, one time I had trekked all the way I went to university in a different city to the city that I lived in, and I traveled all the way to there in order to go to my lectures for that day. I get there, and it started flurrying outside, but I don't really think anything of it because, you know, that's pretty par for the course, right? But my professor rocks up, and there's, like, not very many of us there, and he's like, what are you doing here? Classes are canceled for the rest of the day, and I'm like, I came all the way here just for there to not be a class, and now whether or not buses will be running by the time I get back to my city of residence is in question. Well, I hate everything. It was so frustrating. Anyways. But I hope you had a lovely time ice skating. That sounds very fun. It was my first time ice skating and I didn't even fall once. That is amazing. Good job. Congratulations. And I hope you had so much fun. That's awesome. So I want a nice sort of goldish color. So I'm actually picking up a bit of yellow from my, like, pastel palette. To kind of mix in here. I don't want it to be like painting breakingly vibrant. but I do want it to give a nice little bit of contrast to the flower petals. So let me just pop this little contrasting center into the middle of the flower, just like that. Sammy was just to visit a luxury hotel chain for that feeling of hope. Samantha says, I saw many snows due to living up north now. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jelly. There were actually times when I was a university student that I had to stay in hotels. Generally not luxury hotels, but I had to stay in hotels because I had an exam the following morning, and it was like the autumn term, which ends just before Christmas. And so I would have to sit an exam at 9 in the morning. And I'm like, if there is a chance that the weather is bad, I may not make it here for 9 a.m. I can't miss my exam due to there was snow and traffic was bad. So I'm just going to stay overnight in a hotel near the campus and sit my exam in the morning. Which was quite expensive when you're a student, you know, so fun stuff. But yeah. Anyways. Many distractions is what? Gay people in history? I can't have that. It undermines my conservative propaganda. Bleh. Bleh. I have thoughts and feelings about history. By which I mean not actual history itself, but I have thoughts and feelings about the study of history and the narratives that we construct around the things that we tell ourselves about history and what purposes these serve. I'll get into that on a completely different subject in my next YouTube video, so look forward to that if you're into not just history, but also a little bit of historiography by way of me ranting. But anyways, Voxel says we had 3 snowy days so far, and I live in a temperate climate zone, damn it. Oh man, do you want to send some snow in my direction? I wouldn't mind. More than half of the winter is over. I know, it feels like we're pushing into spring already. Not necessarily weather-wise, but just in terms of, like, looking ahead, I suppose. I always feel like, I know winter is kind of until sometime in March, but, it always feels like by the time February is over, it's like, okay, spring now. And it feels like I've plowed through most of January at distressing speeds. Delicious. We're not going to finish this today. I'm so sorry. But I can do a couple more bits. One of the things I want to do, and I should probably save this until the end, but I just really want to do it now, is just, add some of these fun little, violet petal details to the violet petals. And wouldn't you know it, I think they look really cute. At least I hope they look really cute. There we go. Yay! 'Tis a violet. I'll add a little bit more detail to it later on. And I haven't painted in the hamsters at all, but as for whether or not we return to this on Thursday or I just finish it in the meantime remains to be seen, because obviously Thursday is our 4-year streamiversary Thursday stream, and I want to do something super special and interesting and fun. I still don't know what, because I'm really bad at deciding these things, but it'll be fun regardless, and I hope that people show up, because I don't know if it's just me. It'll be a really sad streamiversary. Anyways, looking forward to it. So many distractions. Hell yeah, thank you. Voxel says if it snows in March, I'm gonna lose my marbles, or maybe I'll be happy to see snow. I don't know. I guess it depends on whether or not you have to like go anywhere. That tends to affect my opinion on weather. It's like, oh, it's such a cozy rainy day. I'm gonna make myself a nice cup of tea and do some knitting and look out the window. Or, oh, it's a yucky rainy day. I have to like walk a significant distance And I know there's going to be the possibility of loose paving stones along the way. And anyone who stepped on a loose paving stone on a rainy day in the UK knows the absolute just horrendousness of stepping on what looks to be a solid normal paving stone, and it shifts and you just get splashed with a whole bunch of really disgusting murky water. Ugh. Ugh. Do not recommend. Where I study is like 15 minutes from my home, so I'm kind of lucky. That's not too bad, Voxel. That's not too bad. The upsplash, says Tals. The first time I got hit with one of those was when I was still living in Manchester, and I was not expecting it at all, because it does not happen in Canada, because our paving stones are different, and we get different weather. So I was not expecting it at all. And it absolutely horrified me. I was like, this country is not safe. What the heck is going on? I was none too pleased, believe me. Anyways, I think I'm gonna call it there for the art for now. And either I'll be finishing this off stream or we will revisit it on Thursday. But I'll probably be finishing it off stream because I want to do something extra, you know, sort of special for Thursday, because I've been streaming for 4 years and I want to celebrate in some way. I'm not going to do a Joe Rogan voice, Voxel, because I'll be perfectly honest with you, I have no idea what that man sounds like, and I'm happy with that. He seems like a problem. Anyways. Right. I'm going to see if there's someone online that we can do a little raid on. Someone we can say hello to. Maybe someone we have not raided in a wee while. Might be nice. In the meantime, yeah, that definitely for the better, says Voxel. He does sound like a problem. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right. Here's hoping that whoever I raid just now is not just about to finish. Because I always feel silly when that happens, but let's go somewhere gentle and silly and fun, and maybe somewhere we haven't been in a little while. Might be nice. Where shall I send you? Let's see. Ike's doing some art. Let's go see Ike. Ike Min is nice. And I don't think I've raided over there in a while. Hopefully, he's not just about to end. Nope, he's just started. Okay, fantastic. So let's go say hi. Doing some lovely art. Here's a generic raid message. And I don't know what's an appropriate. I maybe the pride emote because the hamsters are gay. So I'm dropping some pride krakens into the raid message. Feel free to grab the emotes if you have the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message or append any cool emotes that you do have. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's been a lot of fun. And I've had a really nice time hanging with y'all. I'm gonna cough a bit, as you do. And I'll be back on Thursday doing some super fun shenanigans for my 4-year stream anniversary. Hope to see you then. Have a good rest of your week in the meantime. Take care, everyone. Goodbye, good night, and good luck.